Hi there, my name is Tercy Engelhardt, and I want to welcome you to the Unreasonably Grateful podcast, Living in Grace by Choice. Welcome back. If you're here for the first time, welcome. Every week, I express in some way that I'm grateful that you're here. Whatever brought you here, trust that. What this podcast is really all about is us joining hands with one another and walking through the experiences of our lives and becoming the best version of ourselves, that version that you and I and all of us are created to be, that oftentimes gets pushed aside because we start living from avoiding our fears or mistakes or repeating something from the past or, our wounds, our sadnesses, and even our joys. But we, as opposed to just trusting that who we are is a divine, beautiful, and amazing creation, and we can live from those qualities that are imbued in all of us: kindness and generosity, love, compassion, empathy, tenderness, kindness. Maybe I already said that. Anyway, there's lots of them. So grateful that you're here and grateful to be sharing with you. I don't have your answers. You do. I believe that. However, I learned when other people shared with me from their life experience and their stories, I would get tidbits of wisdom that would guide me on my next step. And it's my hope that that's what happens for you, that you hear something today that makes a difference for you, that guides you along on your own personal journey and helps you move closer and closer to becoming that person you are created and designed to be. That's my prayer. All right, so this particular episode is called Silence Magnifies. Listen quietly. So I was thinking this week, a couple of things came up. My granddaughter called me. My sister began her third session, which is a 21-day session of chemotherapy. And in a few more days, I think 4 more days, she'll be technically halfway through the 5 series that are scheduled for her. And there's a couple of lessons in that. So I'll go ahead and start with that. So we went in for her infusion. One of the things that the nurse, actually the practitioner, shared with us was, right now her body's being chemically manipulated. And so she's given pills and medication to take when side effects show up, and they do show up. However, I don't know what it's like for you, but both she and I have a tendency to feel like, oh, we can just get through it without the medication. Or, if we take it, we're somehow weak, there's something wrong with us, or then we're going to deal with the side effects of the side effect, like that. However, the practitioner was telling us, because your body's being manipulated chemically, you need to participate with us, and you take the chemical that we gave you to correct or offset or diminish the side effect you're having. And that's how you get through this process. Well, that's an interesting thing to look at. And I was thinking about how, we can heal and recover physically. That's what they're doing. And they're doing it utilizing science and chemical manipulation of the body's systems. And we can mentally do it. We can work on keeping our attention on things that inspire us and helping us shift our attention when we feel discouraged or disappointed to something more positive, something that aids perhaps in the healing process. And that's great. Okay, let's just say those 2 things are great if that's what you need to do. And then I believe there's this deep, necessary, what I'm calling a spiritual healing, where we restore ourselves to those divine qualities that perhaps we have drifted away from as we've begun to manipulate our own lives to navigate and avoid wounds and hurts and fears and all of that. So there's restoring trust. There's letting love in. There's the willingness to face what we're afraid of. There are all these deeper practices that heal that divine spiritual aspect of ourselves that may just as easily be out of whack as the physical, thus being manipulated chemically, or the mental. We've kind of hardened our minds. And sometimes what we've learned to do has helped us navigate our experiences in life, but perhaps they're no longer that helpful. So we're shifting some of those attitudes and some of those thoughts. So, along those lines, the reason I want to talk about silence and the power that silence has in its magnification is, I don't know about you, but if I practice sitting still and being quiet, at first there's a lot of chatter. I don't even know what the chatter is saying necessarily. It's just chatter. And if I breathe then, take in a couple deep breaths, twist my head from side to side, raise and lower my shoulders and relax my jaw, and continue to sit in the silence, it feels as if over time things get magnified. In the stillness, things come up. I can breathe through them, and they oftentimes give me insights, give me grace, they forgive, give me freedom, and sometimes they do convict me. But always in the conviction that shows up in the silence, I experience there's an opening. There's an opening for healing. There's an opening for peace. It's not conviction that convicts and imprisons. It's conviction that convicts, heals, and releases. It creates more room, not less room. I don't feel trapped, I feel free. And that's what I mean by it magnifies. It brings things internally, physical, mental, and also spiritual, to the surface, where they can actually get to the light, and I can experience some more wiggle room, some freedom, the ability to breathe a little deeper, to feel as if I have more room, more space, more peace, more love, more possibility. And that's what I wish for you. Now, it's not easy necessarily in today's world where we have a constant chatter available to us, either our phones in our pockets, the computers, the television, the radio, the non-stop input of information and garbage as well. And so I want to encourage you this week, whether you set aside time, unplug your phones, turn your electronics off, get yourself out in nature, but let yourself embrace the silence, breathe through the chatter, and get to that space where what's arising in the silence, what's being magnified, is an opportunity for you to heal, to forgive, to apologize, to accept, to let go, to release, creating more room for the love and the peace and the grace that's available to enter. Okay? So that's my prayer for you this week. And I'm looking forward to having you experience that. So take that on this week. I'll be here next week. I look forward to seeing you then. In the meantime, let yourself be still and quiet. And I'll see you then.